Thank you all for tuning in with me today, the nighttime or whatever time. I appreciate all of your time. Yes, I do. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for tuning in with me. You are listening to the Creative Lips Podcast, and I am your host, Regina. Yes, guys, I appreciate you all for tuning in with me today. Today's topic is just going to be just a little bit of Monday sound off randomness. Yes, it is, guys. Just a little bit of randomness. Yes, sound off about the latest topics, just about myself and, what I got going on. Nothing special today. Nothing, any special, commentary that I want to talk about today. Just getting into just a little bit of randomness about myself today. I appreciate you all tuning in with me, all of the new listeners and all of the active listeners. Yes, I appreciate you all. Always, as always, I appreciate you all tuning in. And, we're going through these weeks, swiftly. We're getting through all of these weeks as much as we can, pushing through. And, let's get into it. Let's get into, what I want to talk about today, guys. Just like I said, it's going to be, just a little bit of randomness about myself and, just, talking about some things that I have been, going on and, that I want to do and, just talk to you guys. So, as these weeks go on and, we're still in the first month of the year, guys. Yes, we are. We are still here. Yes, we are. We are still here. And, for some it's going slowly. For some it's going fast. I can say honestly, for me, it's going kind of slow. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely going slow for me. And, because, right now, I am trying to, decide on what it is I want to do as far as with, different things that I have going on, in my life as far as the creative side of it, because I want to push through even more, guys. Yes, I do. I want to push through even more, so that I can give you all good content that you are interested in listening to me. And it's just been an overwhelming, it's just been so overwhelming to me just to know that you guys genuinely appreciate the Creative Lips Podcast, guys. I really appreciate you guys for, giving me that support and giving this platform that 100 genuine % support. I really appreciate that. And as we embark on this new year and as we go on ahead, it's something that I wanted to, talk to you guys about today. As we start this new week, and I don't know if any of you have been thinking about what it is that you want to do in your life. What it is that you want to do that you love wholeheartedly. I remember a year ago, I started this podcast and, I said that, what is it that it could be a creative flow for you? What is it that you want to do in your life on a day-to-day basis? You may have woken up in the morning, and said, well, I'm tired of going to this 9 to 5. I'm tired of, not finding a job or not finding, something that is going to be the heartbeat of my life. Something that is going to be meaningful, something that I can leave a legacy and I can finally say that I did that, and even if it doesn't work out, even if some of you maybe have started that dream, that passion, or whatever it may be, and it's just not working out for you, or maybe, you just like I said, you are one of the ones that did start your passion and it's just not quite taking off the way that you wanted to take off. You know what I'm saying? It's not manifesting the way that you wanted to manifest. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can do it. You can follow your dreams and your passion. It could happen the way that you want it to happen. Now, before I get deeper into, what's been going on with me and, talk a little bit about, certain things that's been on my mind to you guys, in this episode number 71, guys. Yes, number 71 on the Creative Lips Podcast. And once again, I am your host, Regina. And what I like to do is I like to start off my podcast with words of encouragement. Let's start this year off right by edifying each other and lifting each other up. Because it helps to do it. It helps to hear those words of encouragement, guys. Yes, it helps. It really helps. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though that, when you give someone words of encouragement, it releases those positive endorphins inside of us. And I think it is so helpful to do that if we can just help each other out. So I just want to start off by saying that whoever is listening to this episode, this podcast episode number 71, that whatever situation you are faced, whatever is faced before you, I hope that you will get through it. I hope that whatever it is, that you will manifest whatever you want the outcome to be in a positive way, in a way that you want it to be worked out in the end, guys. You will see that light at the end of the tunnel, and it will shine so bright like never before, like you never could imagine. And, I just want to say that to you all. You will get through whatever, trials or tribulations or whatever. Only you know what that situation is. Only you know what the outcome, is, or what is going on in your life. Only you know what that will be. And I just want to just send my words of, encouragement to you all. So I guess, today, I'm going to be talking about that. Just a little bit about that. Just encouraging, encouraging words, encouraging, things that I can tell you all. Just like I was saying before, earlier, a couple of minutes ago, I was saying that when I first started this podcast, and in the hopes of, spreading my knowledge and, talking about what it is that I love to talk about, whether it be about the latest topics that have went viral, or if it could be about, pop culture, hip hop culture, fashion, and, and stuff like that, guys. Yeah, stuff like that. And, I started off doing that. And also a little bit of tea, talking about the latest celebrity stuff that went viral. But however, as the years went on, as the year went on, my podcast took a different turn. And I wanted to focus on stuff that is meaningful, stuff that is very beneficial for you all, that's going to help you, stuff that is going to open up your mind and expand your mind, because that is the type time that I'm on right now. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't want to be talking about no dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that is not going to help you in the long run, because that's not how I live my life. And I just want to basically just be a person that is living my truth. Because if you was to ever meet me in person, I always say this to you all. If you was to ever meet me in person, I am this person. That what you hear and what you see. I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to, portray anything that I don't want to portray. And I just want to be that, encouragement. And when I say I want to be that encouragement, just like I said, everybody, has different trials and tribulations. You will all have situations or situationships, what I'm saying, or whatever it is that you got going on in your life. Only you know what it is. So that if you are listening to my podcast episodes, I wanted to uplift you. I wanted to make you laugh. I wanted to make you and to get you inspired. You know what I'm saying? Pull up my select. I wanted to, to be edifying to you all. And that's what Creative Lips Podcast is about, guys. That's what it's about. And that's why I created it. And I am very happy to give it to you all, to talk to you all. As I go on, I would love to have you all call up. I would love to have you all call up to my podcast. And I'm going to have a time of the day. Since my podcast, episodes are pre-recorded, I would like to have y'all call up. But however, I'm trying to have it live. So I'm going to be going on YouTube pretty soon. I'm pushing for a start time, a drop time for YouTube Live in March. March is going to be a live syndicated episodes that I'm pushing forward to, having you all call in and talk and voice your opinion about what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? And I welcome you all to call. If you can call, a call-in number, I'm going to try. I'm going to be, letting everyone know the call-in number pretty soon in the coming months. Because I'm trying to set that up. I'm trying to find a platform where I can have that. You all call in. It's a 1-800 number or whatever for you all to call in and to voice your opinion. You have, I want my Monday randomness sound off to be what it is. I want you all to sound off and talk about how you feel. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about, your relationship. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about, the economy. You can talk about COVID. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about music. You can talk about, just about. Now, I'm going to put this I'm going to put this disclosure. Just about anything. Just about. And, I'm going to make certain topics, of course, just to help and guide you so that things don't get kind of out of hand. You know what I'm saying?
So fucking
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want it to get out of hand. You know what I'm saying? Because I will cut the call. I will cut the call. And especially if it's online, there are certain guidelines that I have to follow with YouTube as well. You know, YouTube will demonetize. Yes, they will demonetize, and I will not get, credit and paid for that, that episode. So, as time goes on, I'm going to be doing that. And, because I want to hear what you all have to say, because I have, grown a following, so far. And I believe that you all would be interested. Let me know if you are interested, guys. Let me know if you all would be interested in this segment. I want to hear from you. I really would like to hear from you all. I get random requests to people, since I did my music segments on my Music Fridays, where I have, you come in and you feature your music. Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I have those segments on my Music Fridays, which is going to be coming back pretty soon. I will let you all know when that officially drops. And I'm going to be, interviewing people who is interested in having their music drop, whether it be your EP or your album, or just talk a little bit about what you got going on in your music sector, whether you be a rapper, singer, or whatever. And also, if you would like to feature anything else, like if your artwork is going to be featured anywhere. And, if you are a creative, because that's what Creative Lips is about, guys, and that's what I specialize in on my podcast. I love creative stuff. So if you have anything that is creative, from music to art to fashion or whatever the case may be, by all means, if that interests you, then, hey, shoot me an email at CreativeLipsPodcast@gmail.com, guys. And I'll be sure to check out that email. And if it fits, and if I am interested, then you will be the next person to be featured on Creative Lips Podcast, guys. Yes, yes. So that is another aspect, that is going to be, on the rise. So I look forward to doing that part, with Music Fridays as well. And also with my Self-Care Wednesdays. I would like to expand Self-Care Wednesdays. Just like I said, I welcome all of the licensed psychologists and also licensed therapists, and anyone who would like to share an uplifting story, that you have experienced in your life, that you would like to showcase and talk about on my Self-Care Wednesdays. Yes, you can also shoot me an email at CreativeLipsPodcast@gmail, and I'll be sure to get back to you in regards to, you want to talk about whatever that is geared towards mental health, that is also geared towards encouragement, anything, and also about the law of attraction too as well. I will also like to feature that on my Self-Care Wednesdays. Anything that has to do with manifestation, anything that has to do with talking about the universe and how everything coincides, how everything works out in our favor. I definitely would like to hear from you. So if you want to talk about that on my show and feature it on Creative Lips Podcast, hit a sister up, guys. Definitely hit me up. And, just like I said earlier, I started my podcast a year ago, and in hopes to, to do all these creative things that's been running through my mind. I dream about this stuff, guys. I do. I dream about this stuff. And it's something that I wanted to get out to all of you. What you all are hearing today. right now as we speak. And that's something that I always wanted to do. And I'm doing it now. And I wanted to just add to that, if you are interested in doing like something like I'm doing, just do it. Just do it. Don't let anything stop you, no matter what it is. I didn't let nothing stop me. All of the setbacks that I've been through, starting this podcast, I didn't let it stop me. I keep it going. It may be sometimes where, I honestly, guys, I just wake up and I just say, I just want to just not just do it, but I think about why I started. And I think, just like we always say, we get into our head a lot. And I think I do that a lot. I'm grateful for using this platform to talk to you all today, about these things, these topics. And if you have ever felt that way, have you all ever felt that way that sometimes you just be like, you know what? I just want to throw in a towel. But I'm here to tell you all, let me tell you, if you throw in that towel, you never know where you could be, guys. Where you could be if you throw in that towel. And every time when I throw in the towel, it's always something that always pulls me back in. It always pulls me back in and say, don't stop now. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop now. No, don't stop now. And, I want to keep on going. I want to see where this takes me. And also, just like I said, if it doesn't work out, if it all fails, at least you did it. I always say that, at least you did it. At least you tried. At least you put forth that effort to try and fulfill your dreams, and go on ahead and do what your heart desire is, whatever it may be, guys, whatever it may be. So don't stop, just keep on going ahead and pushing forward. And, just take your time too. Also take your time. Don't rush into it. It's no race. You're not racing against anyone but yourself. So try your best to do it at your own pace. If you can just do one thing at a time, just do it. Just at least do it, guys. Just at least try. Just at least try, guys. Whatever it may be, just try. I remember getting everything, together, and getting a concept about my podcast and, just basically trying to figure out what is it, that I want to talk about to you guys. Because I honestly, I sat up here and I said, people don't want to hear me talk. People don't want to hear shit that I got to say. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about it. And then thought about it. And I said, you want to know what? Hey, it's always going to be somebody out there that wants to hear what you have to say. And that's going to be encouraged by what you have to say. And that's going to love what you have to say. And that's going to enjoy what you have to say, guys. It's so many people out there in this world, guys. So many people out there in this world. And if that one person doesn't like what you have to say, then it's always going to be another person that's going to enjoy you. That's going to tune in. That's going to want to download your episodes. That's going to want to say, hey, yo, have you heard this podcast? It's always going to be someone. You understand? Even if it's just one, you know, even if it's just one, it's always going to be someone. You know what I'm saying? So guys, don't you ever get discouraged. You know, be encouraged, you know, and know that you will succeed in whatever it is your heart desire is, guys. No matter what it is. Never, ever let anything get you down. Never let nothing stop you. No matter what setbacks it is. Yeah, you may have that setback, but your comeback will be phenomenal, guys. It will be phenomenal. You know, if you don't give up. If you just try. You know? And, you know, and that's something that I have been, you know, battling. You know, something that I've been going through, you know, with doing this podcast. You know, I have been back and forth, you know, with a lot of things, you know, when it comes to that. You know, but however, you know, I just keep on pressing forward. And wherever it takes me, I love where it's taking me. Because just like I said, this is very therapeutic for me. It, you know, everybody has their thing, their go-to, you know, whatever they gravitate towards to, whatever the need is for them to, you know, have their sound off, have their way of getting out of how they feel, you know, and this was very good for me. I can honestly say that throughout this pandemic, throughout the quarantine, throughout everything, this has been the best thing. This has been the best thing outside of my children. This has been the best thing that has ever happened to me. Honestly, I am so excited, you know, about starting this podcast. And, you know, and I'm happy to give it to you all. I'm happy to, you know, invest into this because I invested into all of my equipment myself. You know, I pay for services every month. You know, you have to invest in yourself, guys. You have to. You know, if it's something that you really want, you know, you have to invest yourself into it. You know, you have to put forth the effort, the money, the time. You know, if it's your passion, you wouldn't even be, if it's something that you love to do, you wouldn't even be thinking about, you know, all of the money that you have spent. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even be thinking about that shit. Because you would be, this would be your love. This would be the thing that you love to do. And on top of that, you wouldn't even be thinking about all the followers that you need to gain and all the downloads that you need to gain and, you know, and so forth. You wouldn't even be thinking about that shit because you want to know why? This is what you love to do. You know, this is what you love to do. You know, and I just want you all to be encouraged. I really do. And I just want to leave you all with this because I don't want to keep you all here for too long. I just want to say that have faith in your dreams. And someday, it may not be right now. You know, you may see, when is it going to be that my dreams are going to be fulfilled? You know, but just know that you have faith in those dreams and that someday your passion will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving or you feel like it's a standstill, you know, no matter what it is, if you keep on believing in that dream, your wish will come true. Definitely, it will come true. I know mine did come true. You know, it came true right now as we speak. Because you want to know how it did? I'm everywhere. I'm streaming everywhere. And you are listening to me right now. And that's how my dream came true. Because I'm fulfilling it for myself. My dream comes true every single day that I am allowed to open up my eyes and see. Because that is another day, yet another day that I can fulfill my dream, guys. My dream. All right, guys. All right, now, so it's not really more so, about, talking about, are we here for it or are we not here for it? I guess we can say, are we here for it or not here for it, are encouraging, ourselves, being that person, that go-to person to be there for ourselves, guys. You know what I'm saying? Are we here for it or are we not here for that? Are you here for it? Or are you not here for yourself? Which one is it? Which one do you want to be today? You think about that. You sit down and think about, are you here for yourself or are you not here for yourself? All right, guys. I thank you all for tuning in with me. I definitely appreciate you all for tuning in with me with this Are We Here For Mondays. Yes, I do, guys. Yes, I thank you for all of the new followers on my Instagram. Yes, I appreciate you all. It's growing. Yes, it's growing. I appreciate you all. You're genuinely interested in this sister. Yes, so follow me if you're not following me on my Instagram. Follow me there at CreativeLipsPodcast, guys. Yes, guys, come on now. And don't forget to leave me that 5-star rating and also leave me a review. And y'all, follow me on my Twitter because you want to know what, guys? I post stuff there too. All right, guys. Take care. Be encouraged. And hang in there. Until next time.
For you it's like a tide. Me is much more like a stream. Roll it gently, babe. Till we finally find that flow of things. Don't mean to rock the boat when making those waves. I wanna be capsized on an island just for you and me. An island just for you and me. With the water around us glistening. We ain't gotta worry about a thing. On an island just for you and me. With the water around us glistening.
You are now listening to episode 71 of the Creative Lips Podcast.